Welcome to The Bible Speaks with your host, Elgin Kerlock. The Bible Speaks is a daily podcast dedicated to sharing the good news of Jesus Christ, rightly dividing the word of truth, and learning how to apply it to our daily lives. You may contact Elgin at the address given at the end of the broadcast. And now, here's Elgin.
Brothers and sisters, I welcome you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, to another edition of Words of Inspiration. And today, we wrap up our series, Is That What That Means?, with an exploration of walking on water, inspired by Matthew 14, verses 25 through 33. First, let's set the scene. It's after a time of prayer. Jesus is heading to do his Father's work, and he takes the most direct route across the Sea of Galilee, literally walking on water. This miracle underscores Jesus' authority over nature. Creation itself bows to him. For us, it's a comforting reminder that no earthly boundary is an obstacle to God's divine will. Notice that when Jesus heard the distress of his disciples in the storm, he immediately turned his attention to them. Even in the midst of something extraordinary like walking on water, he responds to our cries for help, no matter how doubtful we may be. This duality of power and compassion is crucial. Jesus is both mighty enough to handle our biggest storms and tender enough to care about our smallest anxieties. The second point focuses on Peter. Peter's curiosity caused him to call out to Jesus, "Lord, if it is you, tell me to come to you on the water." That's curiosity, but it's also bold faith. Peter doesn't just talk, he stepped out of the boat. More importantly, he lets go of the boat. Let's think about that. Holding onto the boat represents our safety net, our plan B, our comfort zone. Stepping away from it means fully trusting Jesus' power over the situation. How often do we hesitate to follow God's calling because what he's asking seems impossible? Do we forget who we serve? The same Jesus who walked on water and eventually walked out of the grave calls us to greater things than we can imagine. Don't let improbability or impossibility place a limit on what God can do through you. If the Lord is inviting you out of your comfort zone, obey in faith and watch how he holds you up. Finally, the storm doesn't end until Jesus gets in the boat. Though Jesus had the ability to still the wind and waves instantly, he waited until he joined the disciples in the boat. This was the lesson. When Jesus is with us, we needn't fear. We might face storms, but if Jesus is in our boat, which is our lives, we have all we need to sail through. The presence of Christ is more powerful than any external turmoil. So don't measure your situation by the size of your storm. Measure it by the presence of Jesus in your midst. So how do we walk on water in our daily lives? Here are a few ways. Number 1, let go of your safety nets. Whether it's a habit, a relationship, or a mindset that keeps you from fully trusting God, dare to step beyond your comfort zone if God calls you out of it. Number 2, stay focused on Jesus. Just as Peter began to sink when he looked at the waves, we falter when we fixate on our circumstances rather than Christ. Keep your eyes on his word, his promises, and his presence. Number 3, call out to God in distress. Don't hesitate to pray. When you're sinking, your immediate reflex should be, "Lord, save me." He responds with compassion, even if your faith is shaky. And finally, Welcome Jesus fully. The storm ended when he got in the boat. Make room for Christ in every area of your life. Finances, relationships, career. When he's integrated into a situation, peace follows. Matthew 14:33 says that after Jesus calmed the storm, the disciples worshiped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." Every time we step out in faith, walking on water in our own sense, we inspire faith in others. So when we step out on faith, we please God. We bless others by showing them what genuine faith looks like. And it transforms us, not just in our life's trajectory, but also calms storms in the lives of those around us who see Jesus at work in us. So as we wrap up this series, remember, we serve a God who walks on water, calls us to do the impossible, and then calms the storm once we've learned to rely on his presence. I thank you for spending time with me on today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to our conversation on Sunday. Until then, God bless.
The Bible Speaks is sponsored by C Squared Realty and New Gen Construction Group to help spread the gospel to the corners of the earth. If anything you've heard poured into your life, please share it with someone. You can find The Bible Speaks on Spotify, Amazon Music, Deezer, and many more. Follow us on YouTube at The Bible Speaks Online. You may contact Elgin at P.O. Box 5582, Ocala, Florida 34478, or by email at thebiblespeaksonline@gmail.com.